And I came here underemployed for 5 years. 5 years underemployed. Harsh, right? I was in the Navy for 8 years. I was a CB combat warfare veteran, stationed in Korea, in Mombasa, Kenya, and Coronado, San Diego, all these wonderful places, right? With all this knowledge and experience, but yet I was underemployed. I think being underemployed is worse than being unemployed because you wish you could do more and you don't know what to do, right? Bills start stacking up, your attitude starts getting bad, you're not very pleasant at home, sometimes you kick your dog, right? That's not good. I didn't do that. But I'm just trying to get the point across, right? So, what I decided to do, because that's why I came here. I came here with a positive attitude. I had to. If you don't come here with a positive attitude, then you might as well leave. That's just the Navy and me talking. You might as well leave. Because you have to be open and willing to accept something that's never happened before. Period. So I came here with that mentality, open and ready for something to happen that's never happened before, but I don't know what it is. But I know I had way more when I left here than when I walked into the door. Way more. I had connections, I had friendships, right? I had point of contacts to call when I was feeling down and out and depressed, because that happens, just to be honest. And I teach, actually, I didn't tell you who I am first. So I teach for Valencia College now. And I am the academic chair for the for the Business Applied Science degree for Business Organizational Leadership. I'm the chair for that program, the whole program. That's not the best part, just to come back around. The best part is I received the position in January of this year, right? So it was transitioning, because we go through that as veterans. We transition from job to job to see where we fit. Because when you're in the military, they tell you what to do, where to go eat, what to wear, sometimes where you're going, not always, right? So when I got out the military in 2004, so you can do that math, I was a Jane of all trades, like we all are. We're Janes of all trades, we're Jacks of all trades. We do all kind of stuff. We know all kind of stuff. We do, right? So we think, I'm a perfect fit for any organization. Everybody's gonna want me. I'm not gonna have to fix my resume. I'm gonna walk in and kick the door in, and they're gonna be like, here's your job, $100,000. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was told. I don't know what you were told when you were coming out the military, but I was told that I could go and get a government job making $100,000 within 5 minutes. That's what I was told. That's not always true. It's not true. And I had to find out through experience it wasn't true. And then I was upset because I'm thinking, I'm a veteran, I'm tactical, I know all these different things, they need to hire me. That was my mentality. And I had to change that because I realized just because I was there didn't mean that they knew what I had done. They had no idea what a CB combat warfare tactical yeoman E5 second class did. They had no idea what I did. And guess what? I didn't know how to put that on paper. I had a problem with articulating myself to put what I needed on paper to get the position that I want. To the point where I had somebody in an interview, not here, years ago, say to me, I sat there after I did the personality exam, which is a real thing, just to let you all know, did the Myers-Briggs personality exam. because they wanted to see what my personality was like. How are you going to interact with others? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? Teamwork, group work, isolated projects, stress, deadlines. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. That's all I'm telling them. They get my, true story, they get my personality exam back, and I am an ESTJ. I will never forget that. And an ESTJ is an enforcer. That's the descriptive word for that personality. But you know what else an ESTJ is? Not empathetic. The person looked at me and pulled the one negative thing about my personality, which is, well, Jenice, you're great and everything, and it's wonderful, and you've been here for 5 hours interviewing for 8 different panels for an advisor position, making 40 grand, when I got more than that in bills, just being honest. And he said, you lack empathy. You lack it, because the personality exam said so. And I said, well, so what? So what? Because I'm a veteran, period. You will not find anybody more resilient than a veteran, and we are resilient. Resilient. We do things that other people can't even fathom. They don't understand it. They try. And I think that's the reason why veterans have more issues finding careers that fit them. Because we're trying to make them understand who we are instead of just being who we are. Just be who you are. You're the only you. Everybody else is taken. So, I did not get that position. Didn't get it. Okay. I'm resilient. I tell myself, I'm going on to the next one, and I get there, and literally the same, I don't know if they talk to each other or what happened. I don't know if they talked, they had to talk to each other, but they couldn't have because they were in different cities. So I do the short version of the personality test that the other organization gave me, and I got the same exact outcome, and I tried to get something different. I said, you know what, I need something different, because I don't want them to know that I'm an enforcer. Even though I know that I am. I can't help it, right? I was in the military, I went in the Navy when I was 17. 17 years old. I'm bred to be an enforcer. It's what I am, it's what I do. It's what I learned. It's how I'm constructed. So, same thing happened. 3rd place, same thing happened. 4th place, I don't know if this was like some kind of conference they went to, but they were using the same exact personality test. So I decided, I said, you know what? I said, you know what? I'm gonna figure this thing out. I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure this out, Jenice. Because I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't. So, I took a pause. And I said, all right, self, what can I do to make myself more marketable in the civilian sector? That's how veterans talk to ourselves. How can I be more marketable? Well, I have a GI Bill, I have a yellow ribbon, I hadn't touched it. It's time to dig in and get some credentials in some areas that I didn't have before, so I can have something different than what I already had, right? Went to school, as Rogue said, and named off all my credentials. That's wonderful. But they don't mean anything if you don't believe in who you are, right? Period. So what I said, self, as I'm underemployed, I want to help other people get jobs too. Because I don't want to just do it for me, I want to do it for all these other people. They're having the same issues and conflicts that I am. That's what I wanted to do. So, I sat down and I said, I'm going to write a book. We have ambitions, veterans, right? Who just says, I'm going to write a book with no publisher or background in editing. So before I got to the VBI, I was writing a book called Pep Talks. It was a compilation of every single bad interview that I've ever had, and I spun it in a positive way of things that other people could know not to do based on what I did, because I want to learn off of other people's experiences so I don't make those same mistakes. That wasn't my mentality when I was younger, but now it is. I'd rather learn from somebody else's experience and experience myself, right? Cuts all the middleman stuff out. So I wrote a book called Pep Talks, and I wanted to publish it. When I was sitting here, it was not even published yet when I came into the VBI. And coming here inspired me to finish it. And coming here inspired me, right, to not get a publisher. Publishers are great, but I thought, if I don't publish it myself, I can't just give it away to anybody that I want to that needs it. So I figured out how to self-publish, how to do my own artwork, how to self-edit. Editing is not easy, and it's not fun, unless it's your forte. It's not mine. It took me a year and a half to finish that book. But now that I own that book, because here I got those entrepreneurial skills that I could use, I self-published it, and now I gave it to the VBI to give to all of you for free. But I didn't know that when I was doing it. I just knew I had to do something, because what I was doing wasn't working, and it was frustrating, and I was waking up angry. It's bad to wake up angry, let alone go to bed angry. But when you're waking up angry, you know you need to change something, right? So Pep Talks is all about interviewing skills. It talks about common questions you get, talks about experience questions you get, talks about how you talk about being a veteran and your natural knack for things. So now when I went into the interview with Valencia College, I said, I'm an enforcer. Whatever you do with that, you do with that. But I'm an enforcer, just so you know. And I went in there, and instead of interviewing for the jobs, plural, that I think they had available, because I was trying to be a Jane of all trades, I interviewed for the job that I applied for. And when I did that, they said, you know what, we actually need, specific word, we need an enforcer in this position. I was like, no way, you need an enforcer? That's just what I am, right? Went through 3 panels of interviews to be a professor back in January. The skills here gave me the professional confidence that was either dormant in me or just needed a little bit more igniting. And I was able to go back out of 150 candidates, and they dwindled it down to 10. Out of 10 candidates, I got a call after Christmas, because you know after Christmas and you don't have a job, you're feeling really, really bad. Got a call January 4th, and he was like, oh, well, we want you to come in for your final interview. Oh, sure. I was like, this is an interview. They're offering me that position. So you walk in there with that professional confidence of knowing that, and it's a completely different feeling. It just feels different. The president of the West Campus, Dr. Felicia Williams, African-American woman, first African-American president of Valencia College, sat down, looked at me, and she said, oh, it's warm and cozy in here. Normally I have to come in here and warm it up. That's what she said to me. That was the first indicator, oh, I got this. I got this. I felt fantastic because I took the time to think about my purpose and where I really wanted to be instead of just looking for a job. There's a big difference between getting a job and finding a career. Huge difference. When you find your purpose, and just a little bit of patience, right? You can be proactive to wait for the things that are supposed to come to you instead of going out there and wasting all your time on things that probably aren't going to last for you very long. I know. I worked for all different types of companies. They're wonderful companies. They just weren't a good fit for me. So, bringing it back around. I'm currently at Valencia College. I love it there. I'm not leaving. I'm staying forever. I told them, you gotta take me out kicking and screaming. I'm not leaving. In March, the dean came to me. This is privy information, by the way. Nobody else knows this. The dean came to me and said, Dr. Armstead, AKA Dr. J, not like the basketball player. I said, yes. He said, okay, so now that you're here, and you're a veteran, and you're resilient, and you're an enforcer, you can go to the next one. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna launch this new degree, because that's why you were actually hired. No one told me that in the interview. We have this new degree, we don't know what we want, we don't know what we have, it's not written up, no one's gonna help you, can you do it? As a veteran, that is music to my ears. I get to do something that nobody else has done before. A blank canvas as a veteran, we thrive on that kind of stuff. He said, do whatever you want, you have our support. You know, if it fails, it fails. If it's good, you'll get all the credit and accolades. Okay, I like those odds. So I went to my desk, that I had only been at it 2 months, didn't even really have access to anything. And I started doing research like a lot of veterans do. A lot of research, what's going on, what's happening, what's not happening. And I found that 52% of students leave academic programs because they can't afford the textbooks. That's what I found out. So I said, self, you're resilient. Yes, I'm resilient. So what do you want to do? Because you have this platform, because everybody has one, no matter how big or small it is. You have one, you just don't know it yet. And I went to my dean and I said, hey. He said, yes. I said, I'm new. He said, yes, you are. I said, I want to do something radical. He was like, we don't have anything anyway, so go for it. I said, I'm going to create an entire BAS program with no textbook fees. He said, okay. Leaned back in his chair, and how are you going to do that exactly? I said, well, there's this Open Educational Resource Summit, and you said I have resources that I've never had before, so I want you to send me to this summit so I can learn how to do this. He said, in 3 months? I said, yeah, I'm going to learn how to do it in 3 months. That's what I'm going to do. I'm a veteran. We learn all kinds of stuff in 3 months. We learn whole languages before we get to other countries in 3 months. This is easy, I can do this. By yourself? By myself. Okay. Send me to the summit in Destin, Florida. Never been there before. It's pretty interesting. Pretty sands. I came back with because this is veterans, a project management document. Because I want him to see where my mentality is, so he knows where I'm going, because we're setting a terrain that he's never been in before. And I need for him to trust me, right? Because it goes back to that buddy system. My buddy needs to trust me and know that I got their back, and they're not gonna get hurt. So, set out the terrain. Fast forward till now. The program was not supposed to launch until fall of 2019. We launched it in summer 2018. That's how resilient a veteran can be. He looked at me and said, I have no idea how you do that. I said, I'm a veteran. That's exactly what I said to him. He looked at me, he said, well, so what about the other classes? I'm glad you asked that, because I plan on releasing the rest of the program before December so we can have some graduates to get them to the workforce. He said, you're crazy. I said, yeah, I'm a veteran. The president of the campus, Dr. Felicia Williams, called me into her office and said, I don't know what you did, but this is awesome. And we have 1,500 students waiting to register for this program right now because of what you did. And we're very humble as veterans. So I said, I didn't do it. It was collective effort. You know, it was by definitely some prayer and meditation, because I needed some of that when I was doing it. Because I didn't know it was going to work, but it did. Because I believed in myself, and I believed in that program, and I believed in helping other people. But coming here is what helped me reignite that in me. Because it just, after 5 years of being unemployed, gets a little low. Motivation gets a little low. So, using tools like ONET to update my resume allowed me to get my foot in the door so that way they could see who I was. And my resume is 27 pages. Most veterans, you need to have a long resume because they need to know everything you do. You tailor it towards the job that you're applying for. Okay? You can email me about that if you have questions. Go to the next one. So then, thank you very much. There's all these other opportunities that you have access to. The internet was not around when I first got into the job force. And now you have all these different tools and mechanisms and connections and people that you can use. I suggest using them. Just like this. I'm here. Lisa has my card, Rogue has my card, everybody has my information. You're more than welcome to contact me. And I don't come here without bringing opportunities as well. So to my military brothers and sisters, I tell you, Valencia College is hiring as well. I myself am hiring because of the growth in this program. We need advisors, we need counselors, we need professors. I was just told yesterday by my dean, I was coming here, he got me one of these and all these brochures. I was like, no, I'm just talking. No, but you need all this other stuff. No, I just need my voice. We need more. I just found out, so if anybody contacted me this week, he told me that we need more adjunct professors. Business, entrepreneurship, leadership, accounting, finance, hospitality management. Those that don't know, there's a brand new Valencia building being built downtown, and hospitality is moving there as well. Valencia College is a public access school, meaning that you write the application, you submit it, it goes to my dean's office, he approves it, you're in. Like, that's it. Removing textbooks alleviates almost $5,000 worth of costs that you don't have to finance or use your GI Bill for. That's huge. You gotta pay it forward. All right? So, we can keep going like 3 more times. So, these are awesome, and you guys have access to this. This is an online Prezi that you have access to. I suggest LinkedIn. I feel like everybody else has kind of touched on a lot of things I was gonna say. Thanks for taking my thunder. I appreciate it. All right, go to the next one. And business cards. When I came here, I didn't know the power of a business card, right? And you kind of need one. So I suggest doing that. I myself personally put my face on my business card, some kind of professional shot. Just saying. You go to the next one. And then all these different mechanisms. When I decided to self-publish pep talks, I put it on LinkedIn, I put it on Facebook, I put it a lot of different places, because you have to know what your digital footprint looks like in this day and age. Unfortunately, you do, because employers will Google you before they hire you. Just saying. Mine was honest with me and told me he Googled me and saw all this other great stuff, right? But if you know who you are and what you're doing on there, then you should be okay. My overall takeaway to everybody here is, just because something is seemingly a negative situation doesn't mean that you have to look at it negatively. I'm kind of a super optimist, so I believe in the power of positive thought and how that emanates more opportunity and more advantages, because in order to get what you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Thank you.